Hi, I'm Richard Brown, and I'm a philosopher and a beginning skateboarder. What that means is I have a PhD in philosophy, and I've been skateboarding for about 9 months. I used to skate back in the 90s, early 90s. I quit sometime around 91, 92. 30 years later, I found out about skate parks and all the mini ramps around me. So I decided I would finally get to do what I always wanted to learn how to do, which was to skate transition. My favorite ramp of all is this one out here at Tanner Park. Although the ramp has been kind of wet this morning. And since I've been waiting around, I was thinking about, 30 years of not skating. But I've been drumming pretty much continuously during that time. So I was like, what is the difference between the two? And I have some thoughts about that. I was in San Francisco going to school in 1999 when Tony Hawk was at the X Games doing the 900 or whatever the fuck he was doing. And it was on the news and I knew about it and I was sort of paying attention to the X Games, but I wasn't really into it and I wasn't inspired by it to go and buy a skateboard. And that's especially ironic because at that time I had bought a drum set. And if you don't know any of the kind of history about my personal background, back in 1997 when I moved to San Francisco to go to college, I put all my stuff in a storage facility that we used to use for rehearsal actually. And I went to San Francisco and then through a series of comical errors, I didn't pay the rent on that studio and all of my stuff was gone. Included everything that I owned, personal memorabilia, everything like clothes, books, skateboards, drum sets, everything. So that was 97. And then what got me thinking about this morning was I was like, yeah, okay. So by 98, I'd already rebought a drum set. I had taken my financial aid money and bought a cheap drum set in San Francisco. And by 99, I'd known about the X Games. And so skating, I knew there's a skating scene in San Francisco, but I was never inspired to buy a skateboard and to try to skate again until this last summer, 30 years later, where I started watching videos and seeing, oh gee, Instagram, there's tons of skating around and everything. So that got me back into it and here we are. Now, it got me wondering, why did I buy the drum set given that I had been a drummer, right? And I lost my drum set. So yeah, I rebought the drum set. Okay, but I had also been a skater and I lost my skateboard, but I didn't re-buy the skateboard. So it started making me psychoanalyze myself and wonder what was it that the difference was, because what I found out since I've been skating for the last 9 months is that I still love it. It's the most fun you can have. Why did I not go back to skating? And I guess part of the answer was that I came to after thinking about it was that, well, and this really wasn't even clear to me until I started doing all of this, sorting through my memories and trying to get straight about various things and so forth. So it didn't even really officially occur to me that I found out about skateboarding while I was in juvenile hall and in the group homes. And so when I was arrested, I was bicycling and maybe I'd heard about skateboarding. I don't really know. I thought I had a skateboard before I got arrested, but my sister tells me that I did not. She has a better memory about those childhood events than I do. So I say, okay, maybe I didn't. I don't take that as conclusive evidence. But I sort of remember like at 15, I thought that I had a skateboard before I ran away, but maybe I got it after. I don't know, but I've really tried to rack my brain and ask people about this. And the best that I've come up with is that I got my first skateboard while I was in the group home. And so I was in several group homes. I would go to the group homes, get into a fight, run away, get arrested, go back to juvenile hall, go to court, blah, blah, blah. And it was a kind of cycle. You got to know people in the juvenile hall and I actually enjoyed it more in juvenile hall than I did at my home because I had more freedom, believe it or not. My home life I left much to be desired, let's just say. Couldn't even bring that part of my life up without talking about me being arrested, me being in the group home, me being in juvenile hall. And there was a sense that when I was in grad school that I never tried to hide my background, but I was aware of it and aware of the fact that there weren't many other people in the philosophy PhD program who seemingly had a background like mine. And I could fit into their sort of thing, and they thought maybe I was a bit weird or whatever, but I could put on a tie and be like, oh, you know, I fit in here. And that's white privilege, obviously, as in my opinion. I enjoyed that. And if people asked me about it, I would talk about it. It wasn't like I was trying to hide my background necessarily, but there was a sense, I realized, that I felt like if people knew, they wouldn't take me seriously. Like, who am I? I'm just a random kid from LA with a bad attitude, who got into trouble as a kid, or was arrested, put in juvenile hall and group homes, and you know, now here I am trying to talk to David Chalmers and walking into a classroom with 30 students, asking them to respect my my knowledge of, and there's a sense in which I felt like, yeah, do I really belong here? Like, is a person like me with my background really someone that should be taken seriously? I felt like maybe, you know, if I really started rehashing my history, that not only would other people not take me seriously, but I myself, that would be like that Christopher Reeves movie where he goes back in time, and until he sees like a quarter from his own time or something, it breaks the spell, and then suddenly he's back in his own time and he can't get back to that. I don't know what movie, why did I just randomly think of? But I felt like it was like a bit like that, where if I suddenly recognized myself that was me, that was here now, then it would break the spell, and I would realize, what am I doing pretending that I have something to say about consciousness, or that I know something about these things, when I'm just like this person who really shouldn't be taken seriously. And over time, I've come to realize that's a very bad attitude. A person with that perspective might have something valuable to say. And if someone came to me and told me these kinds of ideas, like I feel insecure, blah, 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 because of my background, or whatever, I would obviously say to them, look, this is silly. You belong here. You worked hard to be here. You have something important to say. It's just a lot harder to say that to yourself, it turns out. So I guess this video is my attempt to do that. Cool. Well, all right. So I guess. No.